again with 14:29 to go in the second, and there is no score. Like I mentioned, this is going to be an exciting of hockey. The one time the two club teams play each other. Canton Akron's got Centerville tomorrow morning, and Northern Kentucky will have Elder. And then in the evening, Canton Akron will have Elder, and Centerville has Northern Kentucky for the second time this year. Ruggles takes it right corner, drop it back. It's now Jarrett Cole. Cole now chasing it to Norris, kick it back off of Jackson Meddy's side of the net. And now Drew Jensen drives it away from Charles Ruggles. Left wing time, looking for Dabkowski up top, guarded well by Paul Hart. And that's going to be icing against Northern Kentucky with 13:59 to go in the second in a 0-0 game.
Yeah, so you've seen Canton Akron kind of make a little bit of adjustment. They've especially on defense, they're no longer just chipping the puck out. They're trying to find a guy and skate up, and then they're not just dumping it in and chasing. They're maintaining possession, which is allowing them to have some possession of the puck down in their offensive end.
Behind the cage of Maddie, now we'll have Lennon Hardin go for it defensively for NKY. Here's Max Williams with the drive, and now finding Dabkowski is tangled up at the blue line cleanly, and that's going to be whistle and offside against the Norse. 13:40 to go in the second. No score, Northern Kentucky versus Canton Akron.
So if you're in Northern Kentucky, the adjustment you have to make is you have to create chaos, especially when you're on offense. You want to get a lot of bodies to the net, get Canton Akron out of sorts on defense, and then force them to make mistakes and make turnovers when they're trying to make those passes.
13.5 to go in the second. No score between the Norse and the Jets as Lennon Hardin sends it in. Picked up by the Jets. Off the chest across. In the slot. Right faceoff circle. Saved by Hall. Loose puck quickly covered up with the left arm of Michael Hall. Great reaction time for Michael Hall. We mentioned how quick the action's going to be, but both goalies are outstanding for both their teams.
Yeah, they've definitely done a really good job. Jackson Maddie, like you said at the end of that first period, he came up with a couple really good saves. And then Michael Hall, he's just a big dude in that net. So he's going to make some good saves just simply because he can cover a lot of it.
And just in case you haven't seen the Jets, both goalies have about the same body figure out there. Brennan Roddy also good size for Canton Akron as well. 12:53 to go in the second. No score. Northern Kentucky versus Canton Akron. Jets are the home team. Past the blue line. Jammed up by Kugley. Delayed offside against Canton Akron. Picked up by Scheffel. Brennan Scheffel. And back the other way, here comes Canton Akron. Good sweep in by Kugley in front of a Jet. Chipped away by Bloomer. And Bloomer waiting back for it. Knocked down by Hardin. Drawing a lot of oohs and ahs. And Miller, that is Jacob Miller with the last check. And that's going to be interference, the call on Jacob Miller with 12:25 to go in the second. And a 0-0 game thus far. It looks like Northern Kentucky will go back on the power play. They're 0 for 1 in this contest. Canton Akron yet to go on a 5-on-4. And Northern Kentucky 5-on-4 advantage.
So it was an interesting scenario there because the Canton Akron fans, they wanted a cross check. But that was one of those kind of 50-50s where they're kind of fighting for the puck in the corner, and a stick just gets in there and happens to look like a cross check. I don't know if it necessarily was. It might have been. It might not. From here, it's tough to see. But what you can't do is what I can't remember who went into the box for Canton Akron. But what you can't do is you can't retaliate.
That's Jacob Miller.
Yeah, you can't.
In the box.
You can't skate in like Jacob Miller did and hit him just because you think it was a cross check.
Well, drop it to the right of Hall with 12:20 to go in the second and 6 seconds ticked off the second power play. Shot off going wide of Hall. Now at the left point, it's Lennon Hardin. Hardin looks and poked forward. Hardin's going to get the first beat on Evan Mitchell. The puck remains with Northern Kentucky. Nice job by Evan Mitchell to put the pressure on NKU's puck carrier. Dabkowski in the slot, chasing it, reaching the stick. Now from the left corner, Hardin looking to close the door. It's picked up by Stephen Lump. 1:23 to go in the power play for NKY. No score between the Norse and Canton Akron and the Jets. Canton Akron, part of the Cleveland Suburban Hockey League American Division. combination of Jackson Polar Bears, who have been part of the MLK tournament past few seasons. Here's Jensen with the send in, and lots of action in front of Hall. Picked up behind the goal line. That's Sunderhouse looking for Dabkowski halfway through this power play. 11:24 to go in the second. No score. Dabkowski free. Picks it back up offensively for the Norse. Left corner. Harden slides that way at the point. A nice breakaway to Harden. Harden will send it in. That shot off the Jets logo and into the glove of Michael Hall. 11:11 to go in the second. No score with 46 seconds left on the power play. We'll have a new tarmac of penalty kill Jets and a couple new Norse out there. We see Kaufman take the place of Lennon Harden. Now face off to the right of Hall. Picked up at the point looking for Drew Jensen. That's off of Hall. And a one-on-one battle towards the corner where Canton Akron gets the clear. Bounce hard off the end boards. Now swooping in on the left. That was Evans, Brady Evans. And now here's Cross for Lump. 26 seconds left on the power play. And the puck comes loose for Logan Amore. Amore will for clear, this time on target of Jackson Matty. Sweeping for an incoming Drew Jensen, who is being chased by Brady Evans. Looking for Cross on the right. Feeding Cross. A heavy bounce past the blue line. Max Williams keeps it in. Now at the point from Lump, it's Kaufman. 4 seconds left on the power play. Pass Cross. Here's Max Williams, right corner, and we're back to 5-on-5. Coming out of the box is Jacob Miller. And down this way, out of the reach of Jacob Miller. That's going to be icing since it was after the power play. 10:19 to go in the second. No score between the Northern Kentucky Norse and the Canton Akron Jets.
So I don't know if you remember last year, but the Jackson Polar Bears, they had a goalie. I can't remember what her name was.
Sarah Bloomer.
She was phenomenal.
Absolutely.
She was the best player on the ice throughout the entire tournament. And I believe she ended up going and playing college hockey, or at least club hockey somewhere. I remember talking to her last year about it. But she, I believe Roddy was her backup, and they put together a really strong goalie tandem for him for the last couple of years. So for Michael Hall to come in and step into that starting role, filling those shoes is tough because she was a really, really strong goalie.
Absolutely. Had a heck of a tournament for the Jackson Polar Bears. And now the Jets back this way, flipping it out of the reach of Jackson Matty. 9:39 to go in the second. There is no score between the Norse and the Jets. Paul Hart collides with a Jet. And down this way comes Drew Jensen. Riley Hurlovich getting in on that fun as Jensen sends it wide left of one Michael Hall. 9:23 to go in the second. No score. Dabkowski versus Dagan Parker for the puck. And Parker chisels it away with the help of Logan Amore. Down the left wing, here comes Canton Akron. Closing in is Max Williams. Now towards the Zamboni doors. Here is Parker away from Kaufman. Tanner Kaufman. Max Williams. Drop back towards the slot and feed in just out of the reach of Cole, who slid towards the right on our vantage point in the second story lobby of South Metro. Dabkowski now sends it, looks for Evan Mitchell, who picks it up, looking for Max Williams instead. Williams back to the Norse bench in the attacking zone of the picked up defensively by Grimsley. Grimsley gets the low hop of the glass. It's low glass. Here's a check on Kugli. That will draw the arm up as Dabkowski shot on Hall. And we'll have a whistle as Matty, about halfway between his net and the bench, I have to assume that
it looked like boarding.
I think they just called boarding. I was going to guess roughing that time, but that was a big hit.
Yeah, I can't quite tell exactly what they're calling that for. It is definitely like that looks like a boarding, but it still looked like the guy had the puck. So it's an interesting call to say the least, but they are making that and if you're Canton Akron, now you got to kill the penalty.
That is a major boarding against Eric Paulhart and Northern Kentucky on the third power play. They'll have 5 minutes on a 5-on-4.
I don't know if that's a major penalty. He still had the puck, but
So we'll have Sunderhouse take the face-off for the Norse. As Northern Kentucky have a man up for next 5 minutes. Kick back out. Here's Max Williams. Spins it, delayed offside. And and it's going to be whistled offside against NKY on that touch by the end boards. 8:29 to go in the second, and 4:53 to go in the power play. We'll go back in the neutral zone. Actually, we're going back in front of Jackson Matty, and a timeout taken by Northern Kentucky. Coach Jamie Antello is actually a guest on my podcast just this week. He's talking about how exciting it is to be part of the MLK tournament. He will take a timeout to regroup the Norsemen, and they'll look to develop a strategy on this 5-on-4 against the Canton Akron Jets. It's been like a chess game, this entire contest.
That's for sure, and that comes from having two well-coached teams. If Northern Kentucky, we know they're well-coached. They've always been, they always play sound hockey. They may not have the most skilled players all the time, but they always play the hockey the right way. They move the puck very well. They play defense very well. So they've done a really good job. Now, what they're looking for here is they're saying, okay, no one scored in this game. We have 5 minutes of 5-on-4, no matter how many goals we score. Okay, let's try and get one early on here. So they're going to come out. They're going to run a set play. They're going to win this face-off and then try and go set something up in their offensive zone to try and and get this first goal of the game, and try and get that first point out of this second period, and give themselves an advantage heading into the third.
10 seconds ticked off the major boarding call as Max Williams to work. Looks for the open ice on the left side for Sunderhouse. Sunderhouse stops shy of the circle. Lennon Harden back out there at the point, has to retrieve it on the red line. And Harden now sweeps over towards the right. An E-break swap towards Max Williams on the left. Max Williams, a shot off of Hall, slaps to the left corner where Ethan Cross comes up with it. Checked by Charles Ruggles behind the goal line. 7:53 to go in the second, and a stop with 4:17 to go on the major boarding call on Eric Paulhart.
Yeah, so if you're Michael Hall for Canton Akron, you need to come up big here. Keep your team in the game. One of your players made a mistake, and they took a major penalty. So, make some saves, keep your team organized in front of you, and get yourselves out of this power play or out of this penalty kill, and and set yourself up for the rest of this game without taking too big of a hit.
Jensen left point to the other side for Kaufman. Left face-off circle off the stick of Stephen Lump. They'll pick it back up left corner, chased by Joseph Ellison. 5 minutes is always tough to kill, but with one of your strong defenders we saw, it's going to be a big task, but Canton Akron has done a very nice job of the PKs thus far. Rebound in for Cross, does not go in. And here's the Jets' first clear. It's a gulf down this way, skipping past the reach of Jackson Matty. And now scooped up by Kaufman, chased by Jacob Miller. 7:08 to go in the second, and 3.5 to go in the major boarding call on Eric Paulhart. Canton Akron and Kentucky are scoreless. Lump left wing, knocked down left face-off circle, and kicked back by the Jets as Tanner Kaufman's got to come back for it for NKY. Drew Jensen, his defensive partner. Good defensive pairing there. Kaufman, his first year at NKY, and Jensen dons the captaincy. Lump now sends it from the red line, stopped by Hall. Rebound is golfed by Canton Akron. Another clear turned in by the Jets. That's 3 in the last few seconds for Canton Akron. Kaufman looks ahead for the left. It's Dabkowski, chased by Jarrett Cole. Dabkowski towards the corner, sweeps around. Here's Ellison trying to slow him down. Dabkowski still with a puck, now in the right corner with 2:38 to go in the 5-on-4 major. Here's Max Williams helping out the Norse cause. Right face-off circle, Max Williams scores! Maximilian Williams with the goal, a power play goal for Northern Kentucky. That's the first goal of this contest. 2:32 remains on the major board, and it's 1-0 Norse with 6:07 to go in the second.
Yeah, if you're Northern Kentucky, that's exactly what you want. You play some solid power play hockey. Okay, so you didn't score quickly, but you got one in this power play. Now you've got the advantage. So now you want to, if you can, pile the pressure on. Go for that second goal. Really make sure that you don't get, no silly turnovers. Just play solid offensive hockey these next 2.5 minutes and try and get yourself another goal to, really give yourself an advantage in the second period.
Max Williams with the long pass to the attacking zone, finding Devin Grimsley. Left face-off circle, jammed up on the shot attempt, and sliding for that was Michael Hall. Great jump on by Hall with 2:06 remaining in the power play. And 5:41 to go in the second. The Norse draw first blood. It's Max Williams with the power play goal. 1-0 Norse is your score. Damian Dabkowski gets an assist on Max Williams' goal. And now scooped up by the Jets. Long clear. If that wasn't deflected, that might have went up to the blue rafters. Maddie will slide and let it drive. It's Drew Jensen. Ruggles trying to knock it away from him. Lost his stick. Picked it back up with 1:49 to go in the power play. Ruggles gets a piece of that pass as Northern Kentucky's got to go back in their own zone. Evan Mitchell swooping in. Picked up again by Lennon Harden. Harden looks around towards the left. Drives it that way. Towards the neutral zone. Lump off a Jet touch. That was Ruggles. Here's Lump trying to curve it in. And jumped on quickly. That's a nice heads-up read by Michael Hall. 5:05 to go in the second. 1:29 to go in the power play. It is a 1-0 Northern Kentucky lead. A power play goal scored by Max Williams. And the Norse are now 1 for 3 on the power play.
Yeah, Michael Hall's really done a good job. He's faced some tough shots from tough angles, and he's made. He got scored on, but that was just a good shot. And you're going to get scored on by good shots.
Delayed penalty, and it looks like Northern Kentucky will go into the box with 1:23 remaining on the major board. And interference will put us at 4-4 for 1:23. 4:59 to go in the second, and to the box for NKY, Stephen Lump.
Yeah, and if you're NKY, that's exactly what you did not want.
That's actually Juan Guzman in the box. I beg your pardon.
Yeah, if you're them, you do not want to take a penalty there. You want to play these last minute 23, really wear down these penalty killers for Jackson. For strange to not say Jackson to say you want to wear down these penalty killers for Canton Akron, but they took a penalty. Now you want to make sure that you don't get scored on with all this open ice.
Shot goes wide of Jackson Maddie. We're on 4-4 for next minute 11. 4:44 to go in the second. Norse 1, Canton Akron Jets 0. It is a little weird to think about the Jackson Polar Bears and not see purple, black, and gold out there.
Exactly.
Those are nice colors too. Jets part of the Jackson Polar Bears and their rival club as Kaufman battling with Evans for the puck. Kicked forward by Spencer Hager. Hager drops it back, no one there to help the Jets' cause, and Harden picks it up. 1-0 Northern Kentucky, 40 seconds to go on the 4-on-4 as the Jets will have a shortened power play, and it'll be their first 5-on-4 advantage of the contest. Harden trying to get away from Brady Evans, also has good speed, over the stick of Amore, and now here's Sunderhouse, 4-on-4 to Hall, save Hall, and trapped by Michael Hall. Sunderhouse took it quickly on the left wing, one-on-one with the goalie, and Michael Hall comes up with a nice stop. 3:57 to go in the second, 22 seconds of 4-on-4, and then it's a shortened power play. It's about 37 seconds for the Jets. 1-0 Norse, thanks to Max Williams' power play goal.
Yeah, that's how quickly the ice can turn in a 4-on-4. The puck was down here for Canton Akron. One quick pass, turnover, and then Northern Kentucky had a wide open breakaway. So, really good job by Michael Hall to make that save.
Sunderhouse chips it into the defensive zone. Here's Kaufman, and Northern Kentucky now on their first penalty kill. It is shortened as serving all 5 minutes, Eric Paulhart. Just one power play goal allowed in that major, and Canton Akron now has a very short 5-on-4. Max Williams, fresh off the bench. That puck trapped underneath him. Still working against the Jets. Charles Ruggles on the left wing, swept around the Zamboni doors. Here comes Lennon Harden. Looks towards the left. Incoming is one Jet, Evan Mitchell. Ruggles closing on the right. Harden now to the Zamboni doors. 5 seconds left on the power play. Harden versus Evan Mitchell. A check from behind. There's Ruggles now. Ruggles, Zamboni make it the right face-off circle. 2:54 to play in the second. And we're back to full strength, 5-on-5, and there's a delayed penalty, and it will be tripping. The call with 2:49 to go in the second. I hope you like that 5-on-5 hockey because we got a penalty called about 3 seconds after it ended, and it looks like Hardin will be going to the box for the Norse on that trip. So Canton Akron will have their first full power play. With 2:49 to go in the second, 37 seconds. The Norse controlled most of it and been in their own zone. But now the Jets get a chance to tie it. There's a Star Wars Imperial theme out there. Classic. Here's Ellison. Drops it back looking for Paul Hart. Delayed offside as Kaufman will bounce it clear around the right corner as Northern Kentucky on the penalty kill. Lennon Hardin to the box for tripping. 20 seconds into the power play. Here come the Jets. It's a spaced out 4-on-3 back in the attacking zone. Ruggles looking for Cole. Here's Ruggles. A shot. And it's deflected away. Rebound and saved by Maddie on that shot by Joseph Ellison. Paul Hart's got it as Maddie focuses on the left. Here's a shot. Maddie save. That was taken by Joseph Ellison. And Paul Hart and Ruggles have been the first Jets on that loose puck. But Maddie, nice job to get closer to the puck and trap it. 1:21 to go in the Jets power play and 2:09 to go in the second. Canton Akron trails Northern Kentucky 1-0.
Yeah, Canton Akron. It's very apparent that their biggest goal when they're on the power play is to get pucks at the net. They work the puck very quick and want to get a shot. Looking for those rebounds. So, Maddie's gonna be making a lot of saves, especially when they're on the power play.
Jensen gets it off the legs of Sunderhouse on that pass block, and Hall will let it go for the Jets halfway through their first full power play. Technically, the Jets are 0 for 1 on the power play. They had 37 seconds, and that's going to be icing on Canton Akron. We'll go back in front of Hall for a face-off of 1:41 to go in the second. Northern Kentucky would take the second period point if the score stays the same or the North score more. It really depends on the goal differential. Right now, both teams have a half a point for that first period. Been a fun battle to call, Tyler. I know we still got lots of hockey to go, but both these teams are very, very sharply.
Yeah, it's been a really good game, and like you mentioned earlier, that was a great analysis early on in this game, early on in this period, where it's been kind of a chess match, where both teams are just kind of constantly making adjustments, constantly, changing what they're doing to try and, just try and find a little bit of an edge.
Here comes Paul Hart. Gets it away from Kaufman. We'll pick it back up in the Zamboni corner. And down the length of the ice it goes. Another NKY clear on this PK. 1:05 to go in the second. It is Norse 1, Jets 0. It's picked up by Lump. 1 minute to go in the second. Kaufman closes up on the right. As the Jets have to recoup. 5 seconds on the power play to go. Darted towards open ice, looking for Jacob Miller, and we're back to 5-on-5 hockey. Hardin will go back to the bench. He's replaced by Juan Guzman. His grandfather was telling me as we have offside against Canton Akron 41 seconds ago in the second, his grandpa was telling me at the Miami Valley Freeze tournament, Guzman actually got a chance in the Dayton Stealth Hockey Association, but saw a better opportunity with Northern Kentucky, which is really cool. It's really cool to hear those stories about getting a shot to shine with your closest team.
Yeah, you never. I've never been one to, like it when kids are, when families will travel hours and hours or an hour and a half just to go to practice for a sport. That has never really sat quite well with me. So for somebody to go back and play with his, hometown team is nice.
Icing on Canton Akron. We'll go back in front of Michael Hall with under 30 seconds to go in the second. It is 1-0 Northern Kentucky. Max Williams scored on that major boarding call against Eric Paul Hart, and that's our lone goal thus far. And it was about half the time that we saw a goal from last year where it was scored in OT, and that was it. At least if I'm thinking right. Did we have one goal or did we have 3 goals? And it was just like late in the third for both. McMullen sends it up ahead. 14 seconds left in the second. 1-0 Northern Kentucky.
I believe it was just the one goal scored in overtime because I remember both goalies coming off the ice like after the third period just having made an exorbitantly large amount of saves.
Calabretta, the last Jet touch. And that's 30 minutes in the books, where Max Williams scores the lone goal in 2 periods. That'll give Northern Kentucky the first whole point of this venture, and that gives the Norse 1.5 points and the Jets a half point. As we head to the locker rooms, well, the teams do, we don't. As the Jets and the Norse battling, great contest after 30 minutes, and it's 1-0 Northern Kentucky after 2 periods of play. We'll come back for the third period after the Zamboni does his thing, as the Jets looking to go into the locker rooms, and we'll come back for the conclusion of our first day of the 2019 MLK Showcase. Again, Northern Kentucky 1, Canton Akron Jets 0. Max Williams, the lone goal scorer, on a 5-on-4 major power play for NKY. You're watching the YouTube home of Centerville Elks Hockey. into the third period we go. It's a 1-0 Northern Kentucky lead over the Canton Akron Jets. And the third period is among us. The Norse get a power play goal from Max Williams. And that's been all the scoring thus far, as Michael Hall and Jackson Matty have done an outstanding job between the pipes. Jets fly back up the ice and the Norse down the ice as we're about ready to close out the first day of the 2019 MLK Showcase. The Norse pick up the second period point, and by points, the Norse lead 1.5 to 0.5 over the Jets. And these points now determine which place you're playing for with the exodus of the Troy Trojans. The Trojans are from Miami County and weren't going to stay around since they're fairly close to the area. The Trojans will not be in the tournament this year, so we do have a consolation in the championship game on Sunday morning and Sunday afternoon for you. You can watch all these games here on the YouTube home of Centerville Elks Hockey, as now the Jets pick it up defensively. That's Logan Amore on the other side. Now looking for Spencer Hager. The Norse on the attack as Guzman behind the back of Amore. Now picked up by Sunderhouse. Towards the net, it's Hall. Great launch on that. Hit off his left leg as Sunderhouse splits the mob 40 seconds into the third, and there's no score. I'm Lee W. Mowen, and Tyler Poe is my color commentator for this tourney. Here is Evan Mitchell. Sweeps it up ahead. Looks for Jarrett Cole. And on the other side, waiting for Charles Ruggles. Down this way as the Norse put it back in their attacking zone. Two new Norse join the fray, as that's Max Williams who's got the lone goal of this contest, with the Norse leading 1-0 with 13:53 to go in the third. Williams straight ahead, picked up by Spencer Hager. Hager straight ahead past Jensen. Hager looking to tie this up in the right face-off circle. It's stomped on by Jackson Matty, and we'll have a face-off with 13:43 to go in regulation. Norse 1, Jets 0.
Yeah, so if you're Canton Akron, you want to get a goal quickly in this third period. You don't want to leave that until, leave getting that tying goal until the end of the game. Just because at this point, you need to win this period too. So you want to make sure that if Northern Kentucky gets a second goal, that it's after you have already scored.
2-on-1, and it's Grimsley the last shot, and Hall comes up with a very nice save. That 2-on-1 very, very closed in the slot. Williams found Grimsley, and Grimsley with a shot, but Michael Hall has been solid as a rock out there.
Yeah, he really has. He's been the benchmark of this team the entire game. Really getting them out of some sticky situations with some big-time covers. He made a lot of saves in that 5-minute power play to really keep them in this game.
Jacob Miller on the right side against Max Williams to the corner, and Lennon Harden, the second Norse there, looks for Dabkowski on the right. Dabkowski's got the lone assist of this game for Max Williams' goal. And it's 1-0 Norse, 2 minutes into our third. Waiting at the left point is Eric Paulhart. To the corner, towards the right. It is shot by Miller. Jackson Matty slides out, almost an overslide, quickly back in his crease. Jackson Matty very quick, as Hall will jump on the puck and stomp on it with a lurking Damian Dabkowski trailing Paulhart. 12:41 to go in the third. Norse 1, Jets 0.
Yeah, so if looking at the way that Canton Akron, they've come out much more aggressive in this third period. They've been a little bit passive, playing a little bit more counterattack. Now they know that it's go time, and they've got to get a goal.
Just wide of Hall's reach on Kubley's attempt. 12.5 to go in the third. 1-0 Northern Kentucky, your goal, your score. Winnington behind the mob as Cross goes for it, swept around by the Jets. Joseph Ellison picks it up by the Zamboni corner as Scheffel battling, keeping it in for the Norse. Norse in the traveling black jerseys. Most of the new Norse have the red sleeves and the white letters and numbers. And some of the older Norse have the red numbers and letters and white trim. Going for the puck now is Joseph Calabretta, left point, jammed up and sent around by Ethan Cross. Coming back for it is Hager. Good size on the defenseman in Spencer Hager. Towards the left, Hager with a leg stop, swept on target, and Kugley unable to target it on Hall. Cross couldn't get the rebound as now here comes Paul Hart, right wing, sailing towards the left. Paul Hart pulling up to the face-off circle. Around the corner goes Paul Hart. Excellent speed on the defenseman. Paul Hart, and his pass out of reach of the closest Jet in the neutral zone. And the three have to go back for it against a very quick Max Williams, who almost pickpockets the puck. Run into the boards. Williams now drives it towards the slot. Lots of bodies in front. Grimsley nor Wiesner, could get it back with 11:13 to go in the third. 1-0 Norse. Wiesner straight ahead. Slow down off the stick of Cole. That's Jarrett Cole. Down the ice, out of the reach of Evan Mitchell. Back in Canton Akron's defensive zone. Swept forward by Grimsley. Picked up by Paul Hart as Wiesner with the bump. And now here's Evan Mitchell towards the left for Charles Ruggles. 10:48 to go in the third. It's 1-0 Northern Kentucky, your score. Maddie doubles over towards the right. Scooped up by Ruggles behind the cage. Towards the slot, and Evan Mitchell couldn't send it on target. They'll pick it back up in the right corner with Blake Mitchell waiting at the right point. Here's a shot punched up high by Jackson Maddie, and it goes over the net. Saw one where it was punched up, but it went in the back of the net on that long, high arc. Didn't get a lot of distance on it, and it counted for a goal. That was a Centerville game, I believe, possibly a Springboro one. Down lows Jackson Maddie, keeps it out as Harden will sweep towards the right. Two Jet defenders in front. Hager in front of Harden, who will drop it to the corners. And Lork in the neutral zone as Grimsley and Eric Wiesner, go to work. Grimsley left face-off circle, a little bit too heavy on the handle, and Ruggles comes up with it for the Jets as they trail Northern Kentucky 1-0 with 9:52 to go in the third here in the YouTube home of Centerville Elks hockey. Picked up left corner. The Jets send it straight ahead. Now looking for Blake Mitchell on the other side, waiting just shy of the point. Here comes Grimsley with a check. Delayed offside, now waved down against Canton Akron. Down this way, here comes Northern Kentucky in the referee crease towards the Zamboni corner. Sweeping in is Spencer Hager. Hager around, out of reach of Sunderhouse. Back the other side by Blake Mitchell. Hager to the neutral zone, stopped by Harden, and keeps it away from an incoming Jacob Bloomer. Back for Blake Mitchell, towards the left, and to the neutral zone where Stephen Lump comes up with it. 1-0 Northern Kentucky, 9:10 to go in regulation. Great game here at South Metro Sportsplex. We'll have offside against Guzman in the North, and we'll go back in the neutral zone with 9:05 to go in the third. Still 1-0 NKY.
Yeah, so now we're getting into kind of crunch time for Canton Akron. You're going to start to see them pinch a little bit more on the breakouts from NKY and just really try and force the issue.
Around the Zamboni corner with under 9 to play as Guzman gives chase. So this Sunderhouse, Guzman tries to sweep it on target, but Ellison picks it off and kicks it back the other way. In the slot, great save by Hall. The rebound goes to the legs of Stephen Lump, and here come the Jets. It's a 2-on-2, make it a 3-on-3 back this way, as that is Brady Evans dropping it back behind for the trailer, but it's Northern Kentucky sweeping it the other way. 8.5 to go in the third. Northern Kentucky 1, Canton Akron 0. Towards the left, it's Guzman, in front of his bench. Now looking still on the left, set back the other way by O'Moore. In the referee crease, it's Max Williams, doubling over towards the left, looking for Nathan Lush. Lush kicks it back, it's Williams again driving. Williams looks, Lennon Harden towards the left, try to sweep away from an incoming Jacob Miller. 8:04 to go in the third, still 1-0 NKY. Now the club teams in the 2019 MLK Showcase, as there's a hit by Jacob Miller on Max Williams. Dabkowski tangled up, Williams trying to help out, and it's back for Jacob Miller. 7:50 to go in the third, still 1-0 Northern Kentucky. No penalties thus far in the third period. It's been very clean, very quick, very efficient hockey between the two squads. Dabkowski unable to hold on to it on the bouncing puck in the slot, and Jacob Whittington sends it straight ahead, looking for Jacob Bloomer. Jackson Maddie, rebound in front, and scoped out by the Norse defense. Max Williams behind the referee, darts it towards the left, closed up by Dagan Parker in front of the blue line. Parker now tangled up with Stephen Lump. Lump's got in front of the bench, but it's cleaned up nice by Joseph Calabretta. 7:17 to go in the third. It's 1-0 Northern Kentucky, your score here on the YouTube home of Centerville Elks hockey. Thanks for joining us this evening. We got lots of action for you. 4 teams now in the tournament and 6 games Well, actually 8 games total, I should say. 6 games planned and consolation and championship. That's icing on Canton Akron in the neutral zone behind the red line. And back we come in front of Michael Hall with 7 minutes to go in the third. Norse 1, Jets 0.
Yeah, so Canton Akron has really done a good job of, in this period, just haven't had the goal to show for it. They put a lot of pucks on Jackson Maddie. They've had a couple rebounds, but Maddie's come up big and made some saves. And the Norse defense has done a really good job of clearing pucks out from in front of the net. If you're Canton Akron, understand you're doing the right things. Just keep getting the puck to the net, and something's got to happen for you eventually.
Evan Mitchell off of Jackson Maddie. Rebound just wide off of Jarrett Cole. Great job of the defender in front. If Cole had a clean look at it, that might have been a rebound goal. But the Jets have it back in their attacking zone. Here's Paul Hart. Does not get to Jackson Maddie as he closed up the 5-hole. 6:33 to go in the third. It's still 1-0 Northern Kentucky. Max Williams, lone goal on a power play. Lone assist, Damian Dabkowski. In the neutral zone, Paul Hart jammed up, but does find a target. I believe that's Ruggles pushing it past the neutral zone. Ruggles, Hall, his hands up on the tangling at the left point. And we'll have a whistle with 6:17 to go in the third. Paul Hart talking to the Stripes.
Not sure exactly what the call is going to be there, but there's got to be a penalty coming out of that for somebody.
You saw Michael Hall arms out like jet wings, and we do have a Norse going in the box. With 6:17 to go in the third.
Current penalties. I think Paul Hart is also going to the box. So I'm not sure exactly. We'll probably have to take a look after about what they're actually calling, but those two guys both got tangled up. So
they'll get 2 minutes to cool, at least 2 minutes to cool. With 6:13 to go, we'll stay 5-on-5 as the Norse try to pick it up outside the neutral zone. That's Ethan Cross around the back of Spencer Hager. Blake Mitchell picks it up, takes it slow on a whistle. With 6:04 to go in the third, and laid offside against Northern Kentucky.
It would appear.
Well, looks like we're going back in front of Jackson Maddie for this face-off.
Maybe there was an icing that they missed.
Quite possibly.
That hurts Canton Akron more than it does NKY because Paul Hart has been their most effective player all night. So other than Michael Hall and net, he has been the centerpiece of everything that they're trying to do. So somebody else is going to have to step up here and really make a play.
Now down the ice, here comes Northern Kentucky. A shot kicked away by Hall. The Kugli had that shot. Here comes Cross, a nice stand-up. And picked up by captain and Evan Mitchell for Canton Akron. Knocked down, the late penalty, Northern Kentucky, and power play time for the Jets. I believe that's going to be a tripping call, as yes, it's Jim Boston with the hand. His family owned the Boston bar in the corner of Westbrook and 48. When the Dayton Demons and Demolition were in town, that was always the place to go. Big hockey family. It was a sad day when they had to close down shop. But it's going to be a 2-minute minor against Northern Kentucky for tripping, and it's a power play for Canton Akron with 5:37 to go in the third, 1-0 Norse.
Yeah, NKY fans and the team is not happy about how that, the penalty is a penalty. It was a clear trip. That much was obvious. What they weren't happy with was after the whistle was blown, there was a hit. They feel like it was late. That's one of those kind of bang plays. You're probably not going to get that call more often than not. But anyway, we got 2 minutes. This is Canton Akron's opportunity right here.
That was Evan Mitchell taking the face-off for the Jets. Mitchell inching slowly towards the right face-off circle. Back for Evan Mitchell in front of the Norse bench. 1-0 Northern Kentucky, 15 seconds in front of Jackson Maddie, and cleaned away by the Northern Kentucky goalie. Great action in front. Canton Akron, nice job, and that's skipping on the clear, turned in by the Norse. 1-0 NKY your score. 1:30 to go in the power play for Canton Akron. Evan Mitchell back with it, looking for Charles Ruggles on the left. 5 to play in the third. Still 1-0 Norse advantage. Picked up by Northern Kentucky. Good heads-up read by defenseman Jacob Bloomer. Down the left side goes Evan Mitchell for a shot, and off of Jackson Maddie. And Evan Mitchell picks it up again off the Norse touch. Swapped over towards the right. Bloomer awaits on the blue line. To Bloomer. Back for Evan Mitchell. As the two connect on the pass, halfway through the power play. And Ruggles, unable to pour it on home, had a nice look. But it goes wide. Back to the Jets. 52 seconds to go on the power play. 4:27 to go in the third. 1-0 for Northern Kentucky. That goes wide of Jackson Maddie. As slide over that way. And the puck, here's Lennon Harden. Harden unleashes it out of the reach of the closest Jet. Michael Hall will come out of his crease and stop it for an incoming Bloomer. 32 seconds to go on the power play, 4:07 to go in regulation. No goals in this third period, meaning if we stay 1-0 at the conclusion of this game, then both teams have split another point, meaning that it would be Canton Akron with a full point and Northern Kentucky would have 2.5 points, and then the 2 points for the win. But still lots of hockey. Anything can happen in these next 3:44. 8 seconds left on the power play. Still 1-0 Northern Kentucky. Shot off Jackson Maddie and saved by the Norse goalie. 2 seconds left on the 5-on-4. 3:39 to go in the third. It's 1-0 Norse off Max Williams' goal back in the second period.
So again, even though Canton Akron hasn't gotten the puck, to hit the net, they've done a really good job on this power play. They've had 3 fantastic shots. Maddie just came up with 3 really good saves, and they've done all the right things. They've played really solid hockey the entire game.
Joseph Calabretta trying to get it back for the Jets. The power play is over, and Dabkowski is the 5th Norse out there. 3:25 to go in the third. 1-0 Northern Kentucky. Norse with the puck is Grimsley. It's jammed away. Jared Cole in front of Jacob Whittington. Puck back for Northern Kentucky, and the shot is off the stick of Eric Paulhart. That's going to be off the protective net in front of Hall with 3:15 to go in the third. 1-0 Northern Kentucky, and we're getting to crunch time. You're wondering, empty net? Not here, of course. I mean, you got the face-off in your own zone. If it falls in front, empty net goal. But when you're on the attack, you might think,
yeah, we're not
6 Jet.
I don't know if we're necessarily there yet. Now, if Northern Kentucky does take another penalty, then yes, Michael Hall will be clearing his net. But
here comes Sunderhouse, left face-off circle just wide and out of the reach of Dabkowski. Calabretta. Now Dabkowski picks it off. Turns the stick around. Max Williams has it. 2:52 to go in the third. It's 1-0 Northern Kentucky. Sunderhouse left face-off circle, jammed up in front by Joseph Ellison. Perfect placement of the stick. There's a sweep and a shot up top. Max Williams scores again. It's Maximilian Williams twice. 2-0 Northern Kentucky. 2:41 to go in the third.
Now, there's 2 sides to that goal that just happened there. You have Northern Kentucky, who did, your entire goal this period was to get 1 more. Whether that means the game ends up being tied 2-2, or whether that means you win 2-1 or 2-0. Your entire goal was just to score 1 more time. And now they've done that. They've put, heaps of pressure on Canton Akron, and now they're going to have to pull Michael Hall, now, if they want any chance.
Grimsley has it around the Zamboni corner, stopped by Lennon Harden to Max Williams, who's got both Norse tallies. That's Max Williams. It's Dabkowski trying to get a piece of that. He got the assist on the first goal. Check on the back of Grimsley. And now here come the Jets as Hall still in this crease, watching the Jets. Evan Mitchell lost the handle. Dabkowski almost had a clean pick. 2:10 to go in the third. A late goal in this period by Max Williams. And there goes Michael Hall. Here comes a 6th Jet, and that hits off Jackson Maddie. Scooped up right corner by Canton Akron. And the 6th Jet is Charles Ruggles. Under 2 to play in the third. It's 2-0 Northern Kentucky. In the left face-off circle, jammed up. Reach of Ruggles. Picked up right wing. Now behind the goal line for Evan Mitchell. Flipping it high. Dabkowski giving chase, but it's settled down by Paulhart. Paulhart now with the puck. 1:34 to go in the third. 2-0 NKY. McMullen will pick it back up, and it looks like that's going to be icing on the Jets. And Hall will be coming out for this face-off. Actually, they're in front in the neutral zone. Thought it was icing. Maybe it's offside. Tyler, did I miss something there?
I'm not sure. I'm not sure either. I thought that was pretty clearly an icing. So
And a timeout taken by Canton Akron. Down 2 with 1:34 to go in the third. And time is called to talk some strategy.
yeah, so there's really only one strategy here. You've got to run, you've got to run some sort of set play, and try and make something happen as best you possibly can in this last minute 34. At the very least, you want to get one. That gives you a half point. Even though you lose the game, you still come out of the game with a full point. That gives you more going into tomorrow and sets you up better for Sunday than just getting only the half point from the entire game. Elder earlier, they got 0 points throughout the entire game, which hurts them heading into Sunday morning. Now if they want to get to playing that first game on Sunday, they have to make some pretty decent moves tomorrow. So if you're Canton Akron, yeah, you might lose this game, but you want to get one. Just get one goal in this next minute 34. You're probably going to leave Michael Hall on the bench and just say, let's win this face-off and try and get a goal. And if we do that, we can set ourselves up for tomorrow to try and get a W and pick up some points.
Hall is coming back in the crease. The face-off will be in the neutral zone closest to Jackson Maddie as Evan Mitchell squares up. I believe the Jets, if they get in the attacking zone, there's Michael Hall with a yellow light and now a green light. Michael Hall is taken off. The sixth Jet is Jarrett Cole. 1:22 to go in regulation. It's an empty net for Canton Akron as NKY leads 2-0. Away from reach of Guzman. Behind the goal line is Sunderhouse looking for Lumpen Jansen on the other side. Jackson Maddie in net, sliding over towards the left. The Jets pick it back up. 1:04 to go in the third. Empty net, Canton Akron. At the point now, it's a send-in by Hager. Blocked, and Guzman turns around and into the Northern Kentucky bench. And the referee has to duck. Attempt to clear, but it goes in the open side of the bench. It's hard to clear unless you keep it really low, about board level. It's really hard to clear on that side. But that's a good effort. But it's going to be a face-off for our Jackson Maddie. Still 6-on-5 extra attacker for the Jets, trailing 2-0 with 50 seconds left in the third. Michael Hall has been pulled for the moment. Picked up, Spencer Hager, left corner. One-timer gets to Maddie. That is Jackson Miller. Make that Jacob Miller, 37 seconds left in the third. Still 2-0 Norse. Behind the goal line is Evan Mitchell. Drops it back for Jacob Miller. To the left corner, here is Phil Hart. Does not get to Jackson Maddie that time. But the Jets are doing an extremely, very, very strong job keeping the puck. But here's a one-on-one opportunity. Lump looks for a goal. Hager right on his tail. Here comes Jacob Miller. And that's swooped in by Bloomer. 10 seconds left in the third. Bloomer knocked down. And the Jets to the neutral zone. Northern Kentucky picks it back up off the glass. 3 seconds left. Spencer Hager comes up with it, and that's the game. Your final score, the Northern Kentucky Norse 2 and the Canton Akron Jets 0. And with that third period goal, the Norse will pick up 2.5 points out of the periods and 2 more for the win. That's 4.5 points for NKY, meaning after day 1 of the 2019 MLK tournament, Centerville is first with 5 points. Northern Kentucky second with 4.5. Canton Akron has a half point, and Elder with 0 points. Good action this first day, Tyler. A lot of fun as Jackson Maddie shows up for the camera again. It's one of the most entertaining people
you'll come across. He's a very, very entertaining kid. Centerville just came out and took care of business. They played a really, really solid hockey game. And this was a really, really good game. Both teams, I thought, played well. Just some lucky bounces went the way of Northern Kentucky. Some rebounds, Northern Kentucky, a couple of rebounds found Northern Kentucky sticks. The puck bounced off of Michael Hall on that last goal and ended up going top shelf, bounced off his right shoulder. So, and then Canton Akron, in that third period, they probably had they probably made Jackson Manny make 15 saves, 16 saves just in that third period. You can't ask for any more than that. I mean, if the kid comes up with with that many saves in the third period of a high school hockey game, you tip your hat. You say too good, and you move on to the next day. Now, if you're what they probably would have wanted was to get a goal, so that way they get a second point heading into tomorrow morning, because Canton Akron has the early game, and they're playing a tough Centerville team, who is gonna Centerville, while they're a little bit shorter on the bench in terms of bodies, they've got some talent, and Centerville's gonna bring it. This is their tournament, so they want to play well, and Canton Akron's gonna have to be ready bright and early in the morning.
It'll be 8:30 tomorrow. We'll have them here on this YouTube channel, youtube.com/Centerville Elks Hockey MLK, as it is a 2-0 Northern Kentucky win. By the way, that win for NKY, the 20th on the year, and the record for the Norths goes to 20-16-4. That'll do it for us tonight. We'll be back 8:30 tomorrow, bright and early, for Centerville Canton Akron, and at 10:20, Northern Kentucky takes on Elder in a battle of the Queen City, Cincinnati, Ohio. Tyler, first day in the books. A lot of fun.
Definitely, and it's going to be we set ourselves up with two teams coming out of it tonight with a lot of points. So, and then we got one team who's going to want to make some up tomorrow. So it's going to make for some good hockey all the way around.
For Tyler Poe, this is Lee W. Mallon signing off. Thanks for joining us tonight. As your finals in the first day: Centerville 8, Elder 1, Northern Kentucky 2, and Canton Akron 0. You've been watching YouTube home of Centerville Elks Hockey. We'll talk to you again tomorrow morning.
Hey, real quick. Who's that? Whitboard. Hanging up on there. All right, it was already there. I just wanted to make sure you didn't leave it.
I'm not one. That was a nice shot.
You want to know what else I want there?